You're fasting, but your body doesn't care because your insulin never drops. You might think you're doing everything right, skipping breakfast, drinking your zero-calorie coffee, maybe even going 24 hours without food. But here's the harsh truth. Your fat burning switch is still stuck in the OFF position. Why? Because insulin, that sneaky fat storage boss, is still calling the shots. Insulin doesn't care what you intend to do. If it's elevated, your body gets one message: store fat, don't burn it. Think of it like a locked vault. Your belly fat is in there, sealed tight, and insulin's holding the key. And as long as insulin's hanging around, that vault isn't opening, no matter how long you've been fasting. The problem: most people are unknowingly making fasting mistakes that keep insulin high. A splash of flavored creamer in your coffee, a healthy protein bar after your fast, fasting too long so your stress hormones spike and tell your liver to dump glucose into the bloodstream. These small habits turn your fasting window into a metabolic traffic jam. Everything stalls, and your body can't tap into fat for fuel. Here's the deal. Fasting works beautifully when done right. But if you're constantly triggering insulin even a little, your results will crawl to a halt. You'll feel frustrated, tired, and convinced fasting just doesn't work for you. It's not your fault. You've been misled by half-truths and marketing nonsense. Today, I'm pulling the curtain back. I'll show you the silent fasting mistakes that are sabotaging your results and how fixing them flips your body back into fat burning mode. Once you do, you'll finally unlock that vault and watch the stubborn belly fat melt away, just like it's supposed to. You think you're fasting clean? Just sipping that zero-calorie coffee, maybe a little stevia or flavored creamer to make it taste good. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Your body doesn't care about the calories on the label. It cares about the chemistry inside your bloodstream. And that sweet flavor, even without sugar, can still send a powerful message to your pancreas. Insulin, get ready, sugar's coming. Your body is hardwired for survival. For thousands of years, anything that tasted sweet meant one thing: carbohydrates were on the way. So when your tongue tastes sweetness, stevia, sucralose, aspartame, or those sneaky natural flavors, your brain fires a signal straight to your pancreas. It says, sugar incoming, better release some insulin. And insulin, the fat storage boss, rushes out like a security guard with a key, ready to lock away all that imaginary sugar. But since no actual sugar shows up, your insulin just hangs around doing what it does best, keeping your fat trapped in storage. Let's make it real. You wake up proud of your 16-hour fast. You grab your coffee, black, but with a little vanilla stevia or a splash of sugar-free hazelnut creamer. You think it's harmless, but your insulin says otherwise. The flavor itself was enough to trick your system, bumping insulin just high enough to stop fat burning dead in its tracks. You didn't break your fast calorie-wise. You broke it hormonally. And that's the only thing that matters. Or maybe it's that mid-morning diet soda. No calories, sure. But that sweet taste again sends the same false alarm. Your pancreas doesn't wait for sugar to hit the bloodstream. It reacts to the anticipation of it. That's why studies show that just the taste of sweetness can trigger an insulin response in some people, especially those already dealing with insulin resistance. It's like ringing the dinner bell for insulin when there's no dinner coming. Over time, this confuses your metabolism and keeps your fat burning switch jammed in the off position. Now, let's talk about the energy drink crowd. Those little cans of zero sugar, zero carb fuel that people sip through their fast. You've got caffeine, artificial sweeteners, and sometimes even vitamin blends. But each one of those sweet tasting sips tells your body to expect food. Your insulin rises, your hunger hormones get mixed signals, and suddenly you're wondering why your fast feels harder and your belly fat isn't budging. It's not your willpower. It's your insulin chemistry. Here's the part that stings a little. Even natural sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit aren't a free pass. For some people, they still light up the brain's sweetness receptors and cause a small but meaningful insulin bump. Remember, your goal during a fast isn't just to avoid calories. It's to keep insulin as low as possible. Even a small spike can stop the process of lipolysis, the release of stored fat, for hours. You may not even notice it, but your fat burning rhythm resets every time insulin shows up uninvited. Think of it this way: your fat cells are a locked vault. Fasting is supposed to tell insulin, hey, step aside, we're opening the vault now. But when you take a sip of that flavored coffee or zero-cal drink, insulin hears, never mind, stay on guard, the vault stays locked. Your body goes right back to burning sugar, even if there isn't any in your bloodstream, because insulin insists on it. That's the metabolic traffic jam you feel as fatigue, hunger, or that stubborn belly fat that refuses to shrink. So what should you do? Keep it brutally simple. During your fasting window, stick to black coffee. No flavors, no sweeteners, no nonsense. Add a pinch of salt if you need electrolytes, or sip on mineral water to keep hydrated. If you want something warm later in the fast, try plain green tea or no additives. These keep insulin quiet, letting your fat burning machinery hum along without interruption. If you're craving something flavored, remind yourself fasting isn't supposed to be a taste party. It's a metabolic reset. Every sip you take should serve a purpose. Keep insulin low, keep the vault open, and let your body do what it was designed to do: burn fat for fuel. Once you get rid of the sweet crutches, even the harmless ones, you'll finally see what real fasting results look like. Steady energy, clear focus, and that stubborn belly fat finally starting to melt off. Day by day, you've been told that more fasting equals more fat loss, so you push it 24 hours, 36 hours, maybe longer. You're thinking, if fasting burns fat, then more fasting must burn more fat. But that's not how the human body works. You're not fasting anymore. You're stressing your body, and when your body's under stress, it does exactly what you don't want it to do. It raises cortisol, raises insulin, and slams the brakes on fat burning. Here's the thing most people miss. Fasting is supposed to calm your hormones, not fry them. It's meant to teach your metabolism to work smarter, not push it into panic mode. When you go too long without food, especially when you're already eating low carb or have a hectic lifestyle, your body starts to think something's wrong. It's not seeing food, it's not getting fuel, and it doesn't know you're doing this for health. It thinks you're in trouble. So it cranks up cortisol, your main stress hormone. Cortisol's job is to help you survive. It tells your liver to dump glucose into the bloodstream so you can fight or flee. But the second that glucose rises, insulin comes marching in to clean up the mess. You're fasting, but your insulin just went up. And when insulin goes up, fat burning goes down. Period. You can't have both. That's why after days of pushing the fast, people hit that wall: fatigue, brain fog, irritability, even weight gain. You think your body's detoxing, but it's just defending itself. I see this all the time. Someone starts fasting, loses a few pounds, feels great, so they double down. They fast longer, skip more meals, and end up feeling awful. Suddenly, the scale stops moving. Their sleep tanks, their mood crashes, and they're craving carbs like crazy. That's not willpower failure. That's a stress response. Your cortisol is stuck high. Your insulin is bouncing, and your metabolism is confused. You can't burn fat efficiently in a body that thinks it's under attack. Remember this: fasting is a tool, not a punishment. It's supposed to teach your body flexibility, how to use stored fat when food isn't coming in. But when you fast too long, too often, your body stops trusting you. It clings to fat for survival. That's why many people see results in the beginning, then stall out completely. You can't bully your metabolism into health. It'll fight back every time. Here's how you know you've crossed the line. You wake up tired even after sleeping. You're snappy for no reason. You're getting dizzy when you stand up. You're craving junk you haven't touched in months. You're fasting harder, but the scale won't budge. That's your body waving a big red flag saying, back off. When cortisol stays high, your body holds on to belly fat like its life depends on it. Because to your body, it actually does. The key is balance. The kind that works with your biology, not against it. You don't need marathon fasts to get results. You need consistency. Shorter, repeatable fasts, like a 16-8 window, teach your insulin to behave without flipping on the stress switch. That's 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating, every day, steady, reliable. You're giving your body a clear rhythm when to burn, when to refuel. That's how hormones heal. You see, insulin and cortisol are like dance partners. When one's out of rhythm, the other stumbles too. The goal of fasting isn't to starve yourself. It's to get those hormones moving in sync. Keep insulin low, keep cortisol calm, and your body will happily burn fat between meals. But if you push too hard, cortisol steps in, insulin follows, and you're right back in fat storage mode, even without eating. I tell people all the time, the best fasting plan is the one you can live with without wrecking your mood, sleep, or hormones. If your fasting schedule leaves you exhausted and cranky, that's not discipline, that's dysfunction. Real success comes from steady habits your body can rely on. A solid 16-8 fast done daily beats a once-a-week starvation marathon every time. It's sustainable, it's healthy, and it actually keeps your insulin in check. So don't let fasting become another stressor in your life. You're not in a competition. You're not trying to prove you can suffer longer than anyone else. You're trying to heal your metabolism, and healing happens when your body feels safe, not starved. Give your body structure. Give it consistency. Keep your fasting clean, your cortisol calm, and your insulin quiet, and your fat burning switch will finally flip to ON and stay there. You've been fasting all morning, doing everything right. Black coffee, water, maybe a little salt. You're proud of yourself. You've opened the fat burning vault, insulin's low, and your body's finally tapping into stored fat. Then lunchtime hits, and what do? You grab a bowl of oatmeal, a banana, or a smoothie because it's healthy. And just like that, you slam that vault door shut. Everything you worked for gone in a single bite. That's what I call the insulin rebound effect. You've kept insulin low for hours. Your body's humming along in fat burning mode, and then you dump in a pile of carbs. Your pancreas doesn't ease into it. It freaks out. It releases a wave of insulin to manage the sudden flood of glucose. That insulin surge doesn't just store the new sugar. It tells your body, stop burning fat immediately. Store everything. It's like spending hours digging a tunnel to freedom, then voluntarily walking back in and locking the cell door behind you. People think the fast ends when the eating starts. That's wrong. The fast ends when insulin rises again. And if your first meal is sweet, starchy, or grain-based, you're giving your insulin no time to stay low and work its magic. You've just reset the whole system back to fat storage mode. You might as well not have fasted at all. Let's make this real. Say you've done an 18-hour fast. You break it with a fruit smoothie, banana, berries, maybe some honey or almond milk. Looks clean, right? But your insulin shoots through the roof. Your blood sugar spikes, crashes, and a few hours later you're hungry again. You're wondering, why am I starving? I just fasted all morning. That's the insulin rebound, the roller coaster that wrecks your appetite, energy, and fat burning rhythm. Or maybe you go for heart healthy, oatmeal with fruit. It sounds innocent. It's even marketed as a great way to break a fast, but oats are pure starch. Your body digests them quickly, floods your bloodstream with glucose, and insulin rushes out to handle it. You just went from deep fat burning to sugar burning in minutes. The vault slams shut. Your body's not going to burn fat again until insulin comes back down, and that can take hours. Even those healthy protein shakes and smoothies can be trouble. Most are loaded with fruit milk or sweeteners that hit your system like candy. Sure, they're packed with vitamins, but your metabolism doesn't care about the label. It only sees sugar. And insulin reacts to that sugar every single time. Here's the truth: most people don't realize the way you break your fast determines how well the next fast works. Fasting is a tool for training insulin sensitivity. But every time you break that fast with carbs, you undo the very sensitivity you were trying to build. You're teaching your body to depend on glucose again instead of fat. That's why the weight stalls, the cravings return, and your belly fat refuses to budge. So what should that first meal look like? It should be low insulin, high nourishment, and easy to digest. That means real food, not snacks, not shakes. Eggs cooked in butter, a fatty cut of meat, bacon and avocado. Maybe a few low-carb veggies if you want, but nothing sweet or starchy. These foods keep insulin calm and steady. They tell your body, we're still in fat burning mode, just adding some fuel to the fire. Fat and protein don't spike insulin the way carbs do. When you break your fast with them, you extend your fat burning window naturally. You stay satiated, your energy stays level, and your body keeps drawing from stored fat between meals. That's how fasting turns into a lifestyle instead of a struggle. I tell my patients this all the time. Breaking your fast is the most important meal of your day. It's the moment that decides whether your fast was a healing process or just a long, hungry delay before your next insulin spike. Think of insulin like a light switch, off during fasting, on when you eat. Your job is to turn it back on gently, not slam it with a sugar surge. So the next time you finish your fast, skip the oats, the fruit, the smoothies, the granola bars, all of it. Reach for real food that your great grandparents would recognize. Meat, eggs, butter, maybe some avocado or cheese. These foods keep your insulin quiet and your metabolism stable. You've worked hard to lower insulin through fasting. Don't undo it with one bad meal. Break your fast the right way and your body stays in fat burning mode all day. You think you're fasting, but you're not. You're grazing. You're feeding in slow motion. That just a bite, here a little taste test, there a handful of nuts, or a sip of coffee with cream. It all adds up. Every one of those tiny mouthfuls whispers to your pancreas, hey, food's coming. Better release some insulin. And just like that, your fat burning switch flips off again. See, insulin isn't an on-off button. It's more like a dimmer switch. Every small rise keeps the light on just enough to block fat burning. You don't need a full meal to spike insulin. Even a single bite of something fatty, sweet, or creamy can do it. And when you do that all day long, nibbling, sipping, grazing, your insulin never truly drops. That's what I call insulin stacking. Each tiny snack adds another layer of insulin to the bloodstream before the last one even cleared. Your body never gets the signal to burn stored fat because insulin is always hovering around saying, nope, keep that vault locked. Let's make this real. You wake up and fast through breakfast. Great start. But by mid-morning, you pour a splash of cream into your coffee. Then you grab a handful of almonds just to hold you over. Later, you nibble a piece of cheese while cooking lunch. A few hours after that, it's a protein bar before dinner because you don't want to get too hungry. You might think you fasted for 16 hours, but in reality, you've been breaking your fast in microdoses all day. Insulin never got the memo to stay low. It's not the calories doing the damage. It's the hormonal signal those little snacks send. Your pancreas doesn't care if it's 20 calories or 200. When it senses food, it releases insulin. That insulin tells your body, stop burning fat. There's incoming fuel. And since that fuel never really shows up in full, your blood sugar dips, you feel hungry again, and the cycle repeats. That's why grazing leads to constant cravings. Your metabolism's confused, waiting for a real meal that never comes. Here's the part people hate to hear: you can't snack your way to fat loss. Those tiny bites are killing your progress far more than any big meal ever could. When you graze, your insulin stays elevated all day, even if your total calories are low. You think you're being disciplined by eating just small portions, but your hormones see it as non-stop eating. You're never in the fasted state long enough for your body to switch into fat burning gear. It's like trying to drive across town, but hitting every red light. You're never moving fast enough to get anywhere. Each snack, even the healthy ones, keeps stopping the fat burning engine just as it starts to warm up. Then you wonder why your belly fat won't move even though you hardly eat anything. The truth is, you eat all day in micro amounts that keep insulin quietly elevated. I see this especially with people who live on healthy snacks. Nuts, yogurt cups, protein bars, or bulletproof coffee all day long. These foods aren't bad on their own, but when they're consumed every 2 hours, they destroy metabolic rhythm. Your body needs downtime between meals, time for insulin to fall, time for fat to be released and used as energy. But if you're constantly feeding even just a little, insulin never leaves the dance floor. Here's how to fix it. And it's simpler than you think. Create clean eating windows. When you eat, sit down and eat a real meal, protein, fat, maybe some low-carb veggies, then stop. Let your body digest. Let insulin drop between meals. Nothing but water, black coffee, or plain mineral water. No flavored drinks. No healthy nibbles. No spoonfuls of peanut butter just to get by. That's clean fasting. When you give your body that quiet space, insulin finally has time to fall. That's when fat burning wakes up. That's when your energy stabilizes, your hunger calms down, and your brain fog disappears. You don't need constant food noise. You need hormonal silence. So stop thinking of fasting as not eating and start thinking of it as a discipline of space. Real meals, then real fasting. No snacking in between. You'll be amazed how quickly your hunger hormones balance out and how much easier fat loss becomes when you're not trickling in food every hour. If you keep grazing, you'll stay stuck on that insulin roller coaster. Up, down, hungry, tired, repeat. But once you step off, once you give your body clear fasting and feeding windows, you'll finally feel what metabolic freedom actually feels like. Quiet insulin, steady energy, and fat burning that never shuts off, because this time you're truly fasting, not feeding in slow motion. You're fasting, doing everything right, no calories, clean window, staying disciplined, but somewhere around hour 14, you start feeling terrible. Your energy crashes, your mood tanks, you're dizzy, and your cravings hit like a freight train. You think, maybe fasting just isn't for me. But that's not it. You're not broken, you're depleted. See, fasting doesn't just empty your stomach, it also drains your electrolyte reserves, sodium, potassium, magnesium, the minerals that keep your heart, brain, and muscles running smoothly. And when those drop, your body starts to panic. It raises cortisol, your main stress hormone, to compensate. And what does cortisol do? It raises insulin. So even though you're not eating, your body's hormonal chemistry is acting like you are. Your fat burning switch flips off, and your fasting turns from a healing process into a stress event. When your electrolytes are low, everything feels harder. Your heart rate ticks up, your nerves get jittery, your blood sugar becomes unstable, and your brain starts screaming for quick energy, usually sugar. That's why when people fast without proper mineral support, they end up breaking their fast with junk. They're not weak, they're minerally starving. Your body's begging for balance, and the fastest way it knows to get it is through food. Here's the thing, fasting is supposed to make your metabolism calm and efficient, not anxious and depleted. But if you don't support your body's mineral needs, cortisol rises to keep blood sugar steady. That cortisol tells your liver to dump stored glucose into your bloodstream. And the moment that glucose rises, insulin follows. You didn't even eat, but hormonally it's as if you did. That's how lack of electrolytes silently sabotages your fat loss. Let's talk about what each of these minerals actually does. Sodium keeps your cells hydrated and your blood pressure stable. It's the one everyone's afraid of, but without it, fasting feels like torture. When sodium drops, your energy plummets, you feel lightheaded, and your brain goes foggy. Whereas potassium helps regulate muscle function and insulin sensitivity. Low potassium means cramps, fatigue, and poor glucose control. And then next, magnesium. The quiet powerhouse calms your nervous system, relaxes muscles, and keeps cortisol from spiking out of control. Lose magnesium, and your stress hormones go haywire. You can't fast well if your minerals are out of balance. It's like trying to drive a car with no oil. The engine still runs, but everything inside is grinding. You might make it for a while, but sooner or later, something breaks down. So what can you do? Simple fixes, real practical, no gimmicks. When you're fasting, eat razor, salt your water, us add a pinch of good quality sea salt or pink salt to your bottle once or twice a day. It gives your body the sodium it needs to stay calm and hydrated. You can also use Vasa mineral drops in your water to replace potassium and magnesium without breaking your fast. No sugar, no flavoring, just pure electrolytes. That tiny bit of support keeps your cortisol quiet and your insulin steady, so your fast keeps working. And between fasts, during your eating window, focus on real mineral-rich foods. That means red meat, eggs, seafood, and organ meats. These aren't just protein sources. They're packed with bioavailable minerals that your body absorbs far better than any supplement. Add some salt to your meals, eat avocado for potassium, and cook with magnesium-rich ingredients like leafy greens or bone broth. This is how you build a well-nourished foundation so fasting feels smooth instead of stressful. The problem is, most people come into fasting already depleted, eating low salt, low fat, low protein diets. Then they cut food out completely and wonder why their body rebels. You can't heal your metabolism by starving into the very minerals it needs to function. Fasting works best on strong, nourished systems, not a weak, deficient one. Remember, your body isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to survive. When it senses depletion, it does what it's designed to do, slow metabolism. Hold on to fat and protect itself. When it feels safe and nourished, it does the opposite. It releases fat freely and burns it cleanly. So if fasting leaves you exhausted, dizzy, or craving sugar, stop blaming the fast. Start supporting your body. Add salt to your water. Get your electrolytes right. Eat nutrient-dense, animal-based meals during your feeding window. That's how you keep cortisol low, insulin quiet, and energy stable. Fasting isn't about suffering. It's about restoring balance. If you do it right, you'll feel calm, focused, and strong, not weak and drained. Keep your minerals up. Keep your hormones steady, and the fat burning will take care of itself. A nourished body burns fat. A depleted one clings to it. You're fasting like a champ. Clean window, black coffee, no sweeteners. But between those fasts, you're eating like the food pyramid told you to. Fruit bowls for breakfast, oats and yogurt for lunch, maybe a little rice or quinoa at dinner. You call it healthy, but metabolically, you've just undone everything your fast accomplished. Your insulin never got the chance to rest. Here's the hard truth. You can't fast your way out of a high-carb diet. You can't lower insulin for 16 hours, then spike it sky high the moment you eat and expect fat loss to keep happening. That's like running your air conditioner full blast all night, then opening every window in the house at noon and wondering why it's hot again. Fasting works, but only if your eating windows don't keep flipping your metabolism back to fat storage mode. Your metabolism is like a light switch. Fasting turns on fat burning, carbs flip it off. Every time you eat a carb-heavy meal, even a clean one, you send your pancreas into overdrive, releasing insulin to handle the glucose rush. That insulin stays elevated for hours, storing sugar as fat and shutting down fat, burning until it drops again. But here's the problem: before it ever gets the chance to fall, you eat your next carb-heavy meal. So insulin never really leaves. You're living in a constant low level fed state, high insulin, low fat burning all day, every day. Let's make this real. You fast for 18 hours, feeling proud and disciplined. Then you break your fast with a healthy smoothie, banana, berries, almond milk, maybe a scoop of protein powder. It looks clean, tastes great, and feels light, but your blood sugar just spiked and insulin followed it straight up. The vault slammed shut. No more fat burning. Later, you eat a bowl of brown rice and vegetables, thinking you're keeping it wholesome. But healthy doesn't mean low insulin. Those carbs keep the storage signal going strong. You end up trapped in a metabolic tug of war, fasting to lower insulin, then eating in a way that raises it right back up. Your body never stabilizes. Hunger returns quickly because insulin locks away energy, keeping your stored fat out of reach. So you get tired, snacky, and convinced fasting doesn't work. It's not the fasting, it's the food. Real fat burning doesn't happen because you skip breakfast. It happens because your body learns to rely on fat for fuel, and that only happens when insulin stays low. That means low carb, nutrient dense, real food when you do eat. Meat, eggs, butter, bacon, avocado, and animal fats, foods that keep insulin quiet and steady. When you eat this way, fasting stops being a battle. Your hunger fades, your energy climbs, and your body naturally burns fat between meals because insulin finally gets a break. Think of insulin like a traffic light. When it's green, your body stores energy. When it's red, your body burns it. Fasting turns the light red, full fat burning mode. But a carb-heavy meal flips it right back to green. And if your light never stays red long enough, your fat never leaves the garage. I see this all the time. People who nail their fasting schedule but eat like they're fueling a marathon in between. Oats, granola, low-fat yogurt, fruit juice. Healthy? Wraps. They wonder why the belly fat won't budge. The problem isn't their fasting discipline. It's their insulin roller coaster. Fasting can't fix a diet that keeps insulin high all the time. So here's the fix, and it's beautifully simple. Keep your meals low insulin and real. Build them around protein and healthy fats. When you break your fast, eat eggs cooked in butter, steak, or salmon with avocado. Skip the oats and fruit bowls. They belong in the fat storage category. When you eat this way, your insulin stays calm even after your meal. That means your fasted state picks right back up faster, and your body keeps burning fat smoothly through the day. Once you make this shift, your everything changes. Your hunger disappears because your body finally has access to its own stored fuel. Your energy stabilizes. You stop fighting cravings. And that stubborn belly fat, it starts to melt off, not from starvation, but from VAS, hormonal peace. Fasting isn't about willpower. It's about working as with your biology. When you stop spiking insulin every few hours, you finally let your metabolism heal. You don't have to starve yourself, count calories, or punish your body. You just have to stop flipping the switch off, keep insulin low between fasts, and your body will burn fat the way it was designed to, efficiently, naturally, and effortlessly. Once you fix these silent fasting mistakes, the flavored coffee, the overfasting, the grazing, the carb-heavy meals, your hormones stabilize, your hunger fades, and your belly fat finally burns off steadily for good. This is Dr. Barry helping you finally fast the right way.